gentlemen, is your friend Dr. Emmanuel Odigie coming your way today with so much valuable teachings. Last week we had a very wonderful section where we talked about emotional intelligence and financial discipline. Today we are going to be looking at an interesting topic. Some of the things we agreed to do last week was to put money aside. We agreed that it's very wise to say 20% of your income on a monthly basis, keeping it aside. Now, this particular 20% that you've kept aside, we want to look at what can you start doing with this 20%. It's not just enough to take the 20% and keep it aside. Or maybe when somebody come out and say, you know what, I have an emergency, or there's something to do with money, I'm going to use that to solve it. No. That's not the essence of that 20%. Don't forget that we are looking at how to become successful financially, how to have financial independence. All right, it's not going to come at you it's not a one-day thing. It's not something you're just going to dream about and you're going to have the next day. No, you're going to work it out. And there's going to be a lot of processes, and it's going to take a lot of discipline for us to achieve our financial independence. So today we are going to be looking at making our money work for us. Now that we've been able to save this 20% for, let's say, 5 months, 6 months, depending on how disciplined you have been able to make of yourself with this money that you put aside for yourself with your personal pay, the amount that you've paid yourself. Now, how do we begin to make this money work for us? How do we begin to get value from this money? So that these are the things we are going to be looking at today. Now, the first thing here that, I'm going to encourage anyone, whoever wants to invest their money, the first thing you must do is to invest in yourself. Wow, you heard me right. Yes, invest in yourself. When you save this money, before you go into any kind of investment, before you give your money to investors to give you a return on the investment, before you use the money to start up a business, before you do anything with the money that you have saved, the first thing you do is to invest in yourself. The major challenge we have, is that most times before we invest in ourselves, we always want to do a certain investment, and when it fails, we come back to say, oh, I've tried this investment before, it doesn't work. Oh, I have done this investment before, it doesn't work. Do you know why it's not working? Because you refuse to invest in yourself. You are the one that's going to make decisions on your investment, not anyone else. Even if you are going to consult anyone, the final decision to part with your money is going to be coming from you. So before you make those decisions, before you begin to look at where to put your money, you must understand how that business works, how that ventures work, how that investment work. So how do you invest in yourself? You invest in yourself first by attending seminars. There are a lot of seminars online, all right? One of which is what you are listening to right now. There are a lot of teachings on YouTube on, certain topics. Probably you want to invest in a particular area, you want to invest in a particular venture, you want to check it out online. You want to see exactly how this particular investment is going. And apart from just checking it out online, there are also paid seminars. There are also seminars where you need to pay people, and you get value for your money at the end of the day. So you must do personal investment. You could actually start buying materials. You can start buying books. All right, you can start subscribing to reading clubs to expand your knowledge. All right, because if you do not invest in yourself, you're going to make a lot of wrong investment judgments. And when that happens, you're going to find out that you're going to you make a conclusion that investment is fraudulent. It's not working. Every of these businesses are not working. It's because you do not know, and what you don't know can actually hurt you. All right, so you must take out time to know what you have not known. You must take out time to improve on yourself, improve on what the knowledge you had before now. Because I often say this: the knowledge that brought you here is not going to be enough to take you to where you are anticipating to go. It's not going to be enough to take you to where you want to be. So you must first of all Take out time, buy books, read materials, go online, go to seminars, attend business seminars, ask questions, do a lot of researches, do that investment in yourself. When you have done that, then we now begin to look at what's left after you spend some money to invest in yourself. And sometimes you want to ask yourself, does it really cost money to attend seminars? Yes, real quality seminar costs money. My mentor Olumide will always say, if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. All right. So sometimes you may have to pay so much, to learn some skill. All right. You may have to pay for some persons to mentor you in a particular business or a particular trade. All right. So this is where you want to invest that money first. Investing in your personality, making sure that you are better than you were yesterday, so that you will be able to make a better informed judgment as far as your investment funds are concerned. All right. So now that we've invested in ourselves, so the next area we want to look at, right, is to begin to identify the vehicle of purpose. I put this here on purpose because I understand what it means. Of course, we can relate to the word vehicle. A vehicle is more like a means of transportation, that take you from the point A to point B. So as someone who has put out some money, from maybe your salary or whatever sort of incomes that you have right now, you want to begin to ask yourself, what is the means of my transportation to my wealthy place, to the place where I actually want to be, the place I envisage to be financially? What is going to be the means of transportation? How am I going to get there? All right, you're going to begin to explore a lot of options. Now, at this point, this is particular to you. This is peculiar to you. This is something that is customized to you as an individual. So you want to know, what exactly do I need to do? What exactly is going to be the means of my own transportation to my point of wealth? What is it going to be? What is it going to look like? So you want to know that vehicle of purpose. All right, that thing that's going to take you, to that point of you want to call your wealthy place. What is the means of your going? For instance, you want to go to a particular, you want to go to the mall, you want to go to, your office or whatever. You want to look at what are the options of transportation. You may want to say, let me use the train, or let me use a car, or let me use a flight. So you have several means of transportation. However, they all have their advantages and disadvantages. So when you identify that means of transportation that you want to use, to attain your wealth, for instance, you want to start investing in that particular means of transportation. All right, I use that word literally right now. You want to start investing on, okay, let's say for instance, you've identified that, okay, what I've identified for myself that I want to use to create wealth for myself is real estate. All right, I hope you understand where we're going right now. You want to start learning, you want to start, going on seminars also. It's more like also investing in yourself, but the point now is that you'll be able to narrow out, because you did a first investment by reading, getting all the information you need to get, gathering every information you need to gather. Now you've been able to identify what works for you. You need to know your strengths and weaknesses. After you've done your SWOT analysis on yourself, you now know, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So you now need to invest in that particular vehicle of purpose, because this is going to be the means at which you want to, gain wealth. You want to, multiply your finances. So you need to start investing on that. You may still be working, all right? You may still be having your gainful employment, but you want to invest in that skill. For instance, maybe let's say you are a teacher and you want to start doing online lessons. So now that you identify that, okay, I want to start doing online lessons, I want to do free classes so that I can get a lot of people around the globe to watch my lessons, and of course, maybe get some monetary value from it. You now need to start investing particularly on that area of your own that you've identified, which I call a vehicle of purpose. Now you have invested in yourself, you've read books, you've expanded your knowledge. You now understand, okay, this is okay for me by virtue of my strength, or by virtue of my training, by virtue of what I do. I have done this job for a particular time. I want to become a consultant in this particular area. You need to now start investing in that particular area that you have identified for yourself. All right. So now, of course, the first one we talked about investing in yourself. The second one, now you are investing in a particular vehicle of purpose. Something right now that you have identified that is going to be a vehicle. Once that is done, all right, you want to do the next thing. Okay, you want to begin to get to know your risk tolerance. This is very, very area of tolerance that you know that you know at risk. You know, there are high risk investment that if anything goes wrong, it's going to affect me big time. I will not be able to take this. So you want to know your risk tolerance. What is your risk appetite? What can you take? What is your personality like? Are you a very patient person? Will you be very patient to invest in bonds and wait for a return annually? All right. Will you be very patient? So you want to know your own risk tolerance. You want to know, are you the kind of person that you quite, you know, you don't mind losing a particular amount of money to any venture? Because sometimes you must understand this truth. No matter what investment seminar you go, every single investment you want to do is a risk. All right. And you want to say, okay, I don't want to take a risk. I just want something that is risk free. Listen, as long you can hear me in your heart today, what it means is that you are alive. And as long as you are alive, there is risk for your existence. Okay, wherever you are right now, anything can happen. And the probability is not zero. It's always not zero. So when you do a risk assessment, you're going to find out that the probability is always not zero. The likelihood of event happening that is going to, you know, that is unplanned is never zero. So there's going to be a figure to it. It may be very low risk, but however, there is a risk attached to every single decision. As a matter of fact, it's Benson also that says it is risky not to take a risk. That is, if you decide not to take a risk, you are already taking a risk on your own. So when we are saying invest, there's a risk in investment. However, if you decide not to take, put your money in an investment, you are also taking a risk. You have also made a decision. All right. And I will tell you that risk. For instance, you put your money in a savings account. You know, one of my mates always call it a shavings account. He says it's an account where they shave your money, all right? Because it doesn't actually really appreciate, okay? So you put your money in a savings account, as you want to call it. Let me tell you the truth. Depending on the country where you live, all right? In Nigeria, for instance, there is a CBN regulation of an insured amount, all right? Deposit insured amount of 500,000 naira, all right? That was as of 2021, all right? I'm not quite sure what it is at 2022. I'm not sure if that has been reviewed. But if that is correct, what it means is that no matter what you have in your account, if anything happens to the bank, you are only insured to the tune of 500,000. So if you have 500 million in your account, you are only going to go to CBN and get 500,000. But that is the amount that is insured. But I thank God for the new CBN policy that is, helping banks that are weak to be acquired by a bigger ones, and they've never had issues, where people have to begin to cry for their depositors' fund. So you also stand a risk also when you say, oh, I don't want to invest, I want to put my money in a savings account. You also stand a risk of losing the purchasing power of that money. I don't care to know the currency at which you are saving at, whether it's in dollars, in pounds, name it. You're going to also be losing the purchasing power of that money over time. So inflation is going to affect it. A lot of people will come at the money. So there is actually no much benefit, because even when you keep it in the bank is not keeping it in their safe. They are lending it out to those who have a higher risk appetite. All right. So you must begin to build your risk appetite. Begin to build your risk tolerance level. Of course, if you should know your capacity. You should know what you can face. You should know what you cannot take. You should understand, by now what your risk tolerance is. All right. So you don't go and venture into a thing because everyone is going into it, and you eventually find out that, it wasn't for you. It's not something you are going to do. So understand your risk tolerance level. Understand the level at which you can invest, and you will not, come to a point where you begin to feel rejecting, all right, or you freak out because of what is happening. Just hear the news and you have some hypertension. No, so you want to know what is your own risk tolerance, and once you have been able to sort that out, the next thing you want to begin to look at right now in making your money work for you is to begin to give your money assignments. Yes. Now you've invested in yourself is the first thing. The second thing is that you've identified a vehicle of purpose. You now know what to invest in. You know what works for you. Now the next thing, your risk tolerance. You know the level at which you can resist pressure. You've done your own personal SWOT analysis. You know what is okay for you. You know what you can tolerate. The next thing now you want to do is give that money an assignment. All right. Don't keep it in savings account. make sure that every single money that you have been able to save from your earnings is given an assignment. All right, always send it on an errand. And you want to look at various options to this. Depending on where you live, on the parts of the world, you could actually buy items online and resell them. All right, but whatever you want to do, ensure that it does not have any way of affecting your May employment. Okay, you don't want to do anything that is going to be in conflict with your organizational policy, because you don't want to lose your job. Of course, you don't want to lose your job. So you want to begin to look at, okay, how do I give this money an assignment? You could actually buy commodities. You could actually, buy bonds. You could buy stocks. But don't forget, you have invested in yourself. You have knowledge right now about bonds. You have knowledge right now about stocks. You have knowledge about commodities. All right. And also you want to do a personal trading. You could actually buy, depending on where you are in the world. Let's say you are in the USA or you are in the UK or even in Africa or in Asia where I live. You could actually buy an accidental car, fix it, put it in a good shape and sell it and have a profit margin for yourself. But make sure at every given time your money is on assignment. Don't keep the money idle. All right. So this is how you make your money work for you. Ensure that your money is always on assignment. Another area where you could also invest, all right, of course, I'm not taking the numbers right now. Another area where you could also invest is you want to invest in other people's idea. All right. But before you do that, you must have done your investigation. You must have be sure that this person's idea is marketable, is profitable. All right, somebody could come up with a business plan and you are not going to be part of that business. You are not going to have time to work. You have your own job. You could invest in that business idea while you are still keeping your 8 to 5 job. That money that you've saved is working for you, on an agreed percentage. And never enter into any business agreement without a better documentation. I want to repeat that again. If you want to invest on people's idea, you want to invest on other person's, businesses, don't ever invest without proper documentation. You may want to consult your lawyer. Now you may say, it's very expensive to consult. Let me tell you the truth. If that business fails, you will understand that the cost of getting a lawyer to get the right thing done for you was actually quite cheaper. All right. So you don't want to get into an investment without checking the legal terminologies. Some of us sign contract blindly. You don't want to do that. No. So invest in other people's businesses, invest in other people's idea. You want to make sure that you understand what they are doing. That's what we talk about knowledge. Investing in yourself, investing in your vehicle or purpose, and ensuring now that you want to make the money work. You want to keep this money idle. You want to ensure that this money is working for you. You want to invest in other people's businesses. Look at a particular business. This time may be somebody that you know, all right? It may be somebody that you don't even know, but you study the business. You understand already that this business, is just okay. You need funds to scale. Sometimes you don't want to invest in a startup, all right? You have to be very, very careful of that. Because businesses has its own faces. All right, we're going to be talking about business and face of business, in order of our sessions. But today we are not looking into that. Okay, so business has some faces. You have the face of 1 year, you have the face of 3 years, you have the face of 7, the face of 10 and above. So you want to check at what phase is this business, or has it really, scale out. All right, which of the phases has it, been able to scale through over the years? So you want to know, is it sustainable business? And when you want to invest in such business, you want to study their books. You want to check the figures. You want to ask for, what is their, daily sales, for instance, if it's, a sales business, or if it's a business, the intangible asset. You want to see what is the demand for the talent. All right, that's another area to invest, right? You want to invest on talent, other people's talent, but not without a contract, not without an agreement. But this time, what happened is that you are not working. You are not the owner of the talent. You are not the one that holds the talent. The owner of the talent does not have the fund. So you want to put your money, invest in that talent, because you've investigated already and you're sure it's a very valuable talent. And if the returns start coming, it's going to be profitable to both you and the author or the owner of that talent. You want to put your money into such investment. All right. But what you don't want to do is to keep your money either in a savings or savings account, whichever one you want to refer to right now, but because it's actually not going to profit you at the long run. It has inflation acting on it. It has its own purchasing power going down on a daily basis. This is a global issue. It's not nothing to do with any particular country where you live in the surface of the world. It's a global phenomenon. So it's not about which country you are from or where you are living. No, you actually want to ensure that your money is on assignment. The question I want to ask you right now, yes, that money you kept somewhere, is it actually on an assignment? What assignment can you send it? But before you send your money on any assignment, ensure you invest in yourself. Ensure you understand the business. All right. Don't let people throw business at you, and be very skeptical with business that has a very high rate of return. There is every likelihood that they are going to crumble. Because why? It's not sustainable. Okay. So you want to invest on other people's talent. You want to invest on other people's businesses. Another one here I put here is investing in properties. This is a very big one. Okay, of course, I'm a consultant in this field. We're going to be looking at this in detail, all right, in other sections, not today, but I will just say a few things. Some of us think that, when we talk about properties, we are looking at buying a house, okay? Buying a house in America, buying a house in the UK, or, just having a property, that's not all it is about investment in property. The greatest property that has the best rate of return is not even a house, it's the land, okay? Of course, like I told us, we are not going to be doing extensive teaching on, real estate right now. But you want to invest in real estate, okay? This is one particular investment that has a sure rate of return. Have you wondered that land never loses its value? No matter anywhere in the world, land never loses its value. The village you are seeing today, all right, is going to become a town tomorrow. And the town where you are living right now was once a village so many years ago. Yes. Go and research. Go and ask questions. You find out that the place where you are living right now that looks like a town, go and check 10, 20 years before now, it was like a village. So the people that bought the property then at that village price, they are already enjoying the appreciation of that price of that particular property. So real estate is one very fantastic area. It is a very wide one. Of course, we have a lot of sections in real estate in this channel. So just stay glued. You want to subscribe to our channel, all right? Emmanuel Inspired TV. Now you can follow us on Facebook, Emmanuel Odigie. Same name on Instagram. All right, follow us so you get a notification immediately when we drop the new updates or new videos. We'll also be coming with real investment opportunities. All right, something you could actually invest in and you are sure that you're going to get return on your investment. All right, just before we draw a curtain on that today, of course, real estate is one area that is my area of strength anyway. So we are going to be dealing with that very, very soon. And we're going to be looking at several areas where you can invest in real estate, whether in your country or outside your country, anywhere around the world where you could actually invest in real estate. The last one I want to say here is, online P2P lending. All right, this has a lot of high risk. I must confess that to you. It has a lot of high risk. You want to do your findings. You want to be sure that you are on the right platform, while you are doing that. But again, these are investment that does not need your 8 to 5 time. These are investment that does not need your 100% time to do it. You do them after your work. All right. You begin to do, a lot of trades also. You could do a lot of trade online. All right. But you just need to, begin to invest in yourself. Get the knowledge first before you start putting that money on any venture. You want to ensure that you are double sure by what you have known, all right? Because those who know always rule over those who do not know. The reason why you are where you are today is the information you got yesterday. And if you refuse to improve on that information, you're going to remain where you are right now. It's not a cause for as long as you have not improved on yourself. So no wonder the scholar said, if you fail to learn, you start dying without knowing. So you want to invest in yourself. You want to invest in your own vehicle or purpose. The thing that you have identified as your own vehicle that's going to take you to the point of wealth. You want to invest in that particular knowledge, all right? And of course, you also want to ensure that you invest in other people's talents. We are looking at how you can make your money work for you. Now that you've saved a little money, how you can start making this money work for you. So you want to invest in other people's talents. You want to invest in real estate, a very fantastic investment that you will never regret. And as a matter of fact, when you go to the bank and you want to take a facility, they always ask for what? If you can still remember, they will ask you for a guarantee. They'll ask you for a document. They will ask you for something to be sure that, you're going to pay back this money. And most time, what they need from you is a real estate property, not your cars, not any other thing, not any other properties. They want a real estate property. Why are they taking it? They could give you 4 times 10 of the value of that amount. Why are they taking it? Why aren't they looking at the risk that, something could happen to that house or the land? Because they are actually taking it for the value of the land in another 5-10 years to come. All right, so that's what we're going to be drawing a curtain today. Just before we go, we're going to look at, this like commercial right now. We have a very wonderful book, Hunger for Success. This book was launched, few weeks ago, and it's a very wonderful piece. All right, this book is forwarded by Dr. Odigie, Emmanuel, the common sense guru. It's on Amazon for those of you who want to get it online, and it's also on several other platforms. Of course, if you are in Qatar, you want to get a copy of this book, it's just 50 riyals, and you can reach out to me on 744-560-44. All right. So till I come your way again, I remain my humble self, Emmanuel Odigie, saying, make your money work for you. And don't forget to press the subscribe button at the bottom and also turn on the notification button. Thank you.